Umba as new at the Electoral Commission boss. WAEC gets new boss. Navy begins recruitment. Nigeria Premier League suspended after player dies. Good morning, welcome to MCL News. I am Rita Hams. Thanks for joining us. The Abia State House of Assembly on Tuesday screened and confirmed the nomination of Professor Mba Agu Mba as chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission (APSEC). The screening, which took place in the executive session of the Assembly, was presided over by Speaker Honorable Chinedum Engineer Oji. In his chat with newsmen after the screening, Professor Mba expressed satisfaction with the quality of questions thrown at him by the lawmakers. He warned anyone nursing the idea of trying to compromise the commission to jettison such idea and test the popularity in the field, as the commission under his leadership will remain forthright in the discharge of its duties. Mba also confirmed that he was not a card-carrying member of any political party and that those who are alleged so because of the offices they held in the past were mistaking his service to the state to mean service to a political party. He challenged anyone with any evidence that he belongs to any political party to come forward with such evidence. The state governor, Dr. Gizi Bazo, had on Friday last week nominated Professor Mba Agu Mba as chairman of the Abia State Independent Electoral Commission and subsequently sent his name to the Abia State House of Assembly for confirmation as required by law. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday said God is very sympathetic to Nigeria. He said this when the Joint Health Sector Union, JOHESU, and Assembly Healthcare Professionals Association visited him in the State House, Abuja. Buhari appealed to them to bear with the administration in their demands as it braces up for the challenges posed by coronavirus to the economy. Buhari also called on the visitors to appeal to the patriotic sentiments of their members in these trying times and continue to work for further development of the country. President Buhari stressed that his administration's successful drive for food self-sufficiency in the last 4 years will definitely come in handy now with the drop in government revenue. And the West African Examinations Council WAEC has appointed Mr. Patrick Ariane as the new head of the National Office, WAEC Nigeria. Ariane succeeds Mr. Lutishe Adenipekun, who retired from the services of the council on 5th of March. Until his appointment, Mr. Ariane was the head of Tests Administration Division, WAEC Nigeria. His appointment was contained in a release by the body's public relations officer, Mr. Demanus Ojijogu. Mr. Ariane, who hails from Ebole, Uromi, a son, northeast local government area of Edo State, attended Ebole Primary School, Uromi, from 1968 to 1973. A son Grammar School, Uromi, from 1973 to 1978. He graduated from University of Benin in 1983, summa cum laude, with a BSc in Political Science and obtained a postgraduate diploma in education from the University of Benin in 1989. In addition, he holds a master's degree in peace studies and conflict resolution from the National Open University of Nigeria, and he is a fellow of the Corporate Governance Professionals of Nigeria. Mr. Ariane joined the services of West African Examinations Council in October 1989 as an assistant registrar too. He rose through the ranks to become senior deputy registrar in April 2018. The new WAEC boss has undertaken many other responsibilities in different capacities for the council. And the Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, has appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities to reconsider its decision on the ongoing strike in the interest of the nation. A statement by the Minister's Special Advisor Media, Wachuku Obidiwe, in Abuja yesterday also said the union has been invited to a crucial meeting for Thursday, 12th of March 2020. Also invited to the meeting scheduled to hold at the conference room of the Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment are the officials of the Ministries of Education and Finance, as well as that of the National University Commission, NUC. And the House of Representatives on Tuesday resolved to intervene in the dispute between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. Consequently, the House said it will interface with the Ministries of Education, Labour and Employment, as well as ASU, on the lingering dispute between the government and the university lecturers. This followed the adoption of a motion by the Chon Bagos on the 2 weeks running strike embarked upon by ASU over the alleged failure of the government to fulfill this past agreement with it. Bagos in his lead debate urged the House to intervene in the federal government-ASU face-off, noting that if the strike is allowed to take full effect, it will adversely affect students of the various public universities in the country. The lawmaker contended that the endless strikes by ASU was becoming a national embarrassment, noting that it has made Nigerians look towards other countries for university education. In his contribution, Tajuddin Yusuf said strikes by ASU has continued unabated in the last 20 years because agreements reached by the union and government are never honored by the parties involved. Yusuf said it is regrettable that students are compelled to spend extra years in public universities as a result of unending strikes by their lecturers. He appealed to the House leadership to pay more attention to subsequent agreements between ASU and the government, stating that it is obvious that there is loss of trust between the two parties. And the Nigerian Navy says it has commenced online registration for the 2020 recruitment exercise. According to a statement by the Director of Naval Information, Commodore Suleiman Dahun, the recruitment exercise will commence on 11th of March 2020 and close on 21st of April 2020. The statement reads in part, interested candidates are to apply online at www.joinnigeriannavy.com. Applicants are advised to apply once, as multiple application registration will be disqualified. On submission, applicants are to print out copies of the completed application forms together with applicant declaration and certification by parent, guardian form, local government area certification form, police certification form, and guarantor form. Applicants are to come to the designated examination and recruitment centers with copies of their online completed forms. Application is free of charge. Applicants must possess a minimum of 5 credits in not more than 2 sittings in WASC, SSCE, GCE, NECO, NAPTEP. English and mathematics inclusive must be between the ages of 18 to 22 years or 18 to 26 years for those with MD, NCE, nurses and motor transport department, MTD, respectively. Applicants with qualifications higher than those specified in the guidelines should not apply. Applicants must be single and Nigerian by birth, must not be less than 1.69 meters tall for males and 1.65 meters for females. Applicants must read the detailed instructions at www.navy.mil.ng. The recruitment exercise will commence with screening of applicants' credentials and an aptitude test at designated centers nationwide on a date to be announced later. Applicants are advised in their own interest not to submit multiple online application. Any applicant to multiple submissions will be disqualified. Applicants are further advised in their own interest not to give any form of gratification or inducement to any person or group of persons to assist them on the recruitment exercise. Any applicant who falsifies or forges his or her document and is discovered at any time will be handed over to the appropriate law enforcement agency for prosecution. And Enugu Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi on Tuesday inaugurated the reconstituted governing board of Enugu State University of Science and Technology (ESUT) with Catholic Bishop Professor Godfrey Ona as chairman. Ugwuanyi, while performing the ceremony, charged the board to re-engineer the finances of the school. The governor urged the members to utilize such opportunities as grants, intellectual products, and school-based enterprises to improve on the school standard. He said that there was a limit to school fees hike and enhancement of government subventions. Ugwuanyi appreciated the contributions made by the immediate past governing council of the institution in spite of the obvious challenges they faced. Responding, the chairman of the council, Professor Na, assured the governor that members of the council would do their best to develop the institution. Ona, who is also the pro-chancellor of the institution, solicited the support of the state government for the school to pursue excellence in research, teaching and learning. The Catholic Bishop of Nsukka Diocese said a decision of the state government to restore the multi-campus status of the university will facilitate the growth of the school. And the federal government has assured entrepreneurs in Ebonyi State of benefiting from the micro, small and medium enterprises clinic launched in the state. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo gave the assurance during an interactive session with owners of small and medium-scale enterprises. From Abakaliki, Ebonyi State capital, here's Ejike Ikele.
The Vice President explained that the Act signed into law on January 13, 2020 showed the federal government intention to improve the lot of small businesses to achieve overall economic development. The Act exempts companies with less than 25 million turnover a year from paying any company income tax.
I'm encouraged by the number of outstanding MSMEs and individuals that I've had the pleasure to interact with alongside the President of the government this afternoon as I came. Based on what I've seen from the creative and passionate small businesses that are participating in this event today, I'm confident that the rapid economic transformation of the Ebonyi State and indeed Nigeria is imminent. Small businesses will grow at the engines of growth of our economy. And this is not mere rhetoric. It is a proven fact. Which
commended the enthusiasm shown by MSME operators in the state from his interaction with them and enjoined them to adequately utilize the opportunities provided by the clinic. He congratulated Governor David Umahi for his leadership qualities in the state and the Southeast geopolitical zone and commended his mature collaboration with the federal government.
Congratulate His Excellency the Governor for the job well done, not just in organizing this, and I'll mention this as I speak, but also for the very always mature collaboration at all times with the federal government and his leadership, which is very important, not just in the Southeast, but in the entire nation.
On his own, Governor Umahi thanked the Vice President and promised that Ebonyi State government will support the programs of federal government and noted that poor electricity supply in the state is the major problem faced by small-scale businesses. Yes, sir.
It is one thing to be talking about medium small industries without talking about the fundamentals. They can't survive no matter what we do without solving the issue of how we it is 50%. Even if this is that without this kind of electricity, it will still not.
The Vice President inspected products displayed by MSME and interacted with the operators on ways of enhancing their businesses. From Abakaliki, Ejike Ikele, MCLtv News.
And still to come on MCL News, coronavirus, young men express opinion on shaving of facial hair. Nigeria Premier League suspended after player dies. Details of these and more after the break. Please stay with us.
In or around the city of Aba, brace yourself and get ready for a happiness experience. Gospel Truth with Siri Snow, a total blend of music, dance, spoken words, comedy, and more on Sunday, 15th of March 2020 by 2 p.m. at Venus Hotel. Music by Song, Steve Crown, Chris Morgan, Prosper Chimana, Father Shane, Moses Bliss, Dynamite Z, Promise, and Opera David. Dance, spoken words, and clean jokes by Uncle O, CD, Haywire, Took and Talk, Pujensi, Headmaster, Sister Kichinyoy, Formula, and other surprise acts. Special appearance, Pastor Annie and Dauda. Host, Siri Snow. Tickets regular 2,000, VIP 5,000, table seat 25,000. For sponsorship and participation, please call 080-3492-3805. Gospel Truth Happiness Experience, proudly supported by
Wow, the lab results.
Yes.
Okay. Where is this man? She has malaria.
Malaria?
Yes.
What do you think should be prescribed for?
We prescribe Casimir tablet.
Casimir tablet?
Yes, Casimir tablet.
Casimir tablets get at letter and limit from for inside. Casimir tablets now Maxima Bottles Private Limited for India. They make them, but na Grace Based Pharmacy and Store Limited. And then they distribute Casimir tablets for here. Casimir tablets get NAFDAC approval for take fight malaria, comot your family.
Casimir tablets, na correct anti-malaria.
Casimir tablets, it dey stop every malaria.
If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Welcome back. You're still on to MCL News. Thanks for staying with us. As part of preventive measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control in the United States has advised people with some styles of facial hair to shave them. Young men in Omaya who keep their facial hair, popularly known as beard, have expressed their opinion on whether or not they will shave theirs to prevent contracting the virus. Chitachi Chukwaja has details of the story.
Coronavirus disease, otherwise known as COVID-19, was first discovered in Wuhan, China in December 2019. The virus has so far led to many deaths, with thousands of people infected. Egypt, Algeria and Nigeria are the first 3 countries in Africa to experience a case of the virus. In Nigeria, the index case is an Italian who got into Lagos on the 27th of February 2020, causing fear and panic among Nigerians. The federal government, through the Minister of Health, Osagie Ehinare, and the Nigeria Center for Disease Control announced preventive and precautionary measures in order to allay fears. Some of these measures include avoiding close contact with people who are sick, touching one's eyes, nose and mouth, covering of cough or sneeze with a tissue and then throw it into the trash, regular washing of hands with soap and water, or use of alcohol-based hand sanitizer. The Center for Disease Control in the United States also warned that facial hair can interfere with face masks and respirators, as some types of facial hair can keep the exhalation valve from working properly. To this end, the center recommends the shaving of some styles of facial hair or beard. Young men in Umuahia who keep their beards speak on whether or not they are willing to shave their beards to prevent contracting the virus.
I don't agree with that keeping beards can make me have coronavirus, because there have been beards all this while before the existence of coronavirus. It's all about keeping your environment neat, take the appropriate precaution, and let government do what they're supposed to do. If there is a law that says that nobody should keep the beards, who am I not to abide by the law? I can't leave it for me to contact. Instead of me contacting but I have to share all those things that people may not to contact. I will share both my beards, my armpits, everything for me not to contact. I'll try my possible best to, avoid it. Yeah, if it means shaving off my beard, why? Well, I'll do it. Since they said these are the ways to get coronavirus, my own advice is that they should reduce their beards, or if possible, take off their beards.
As the research for the cure of the virus continues, individuals should adopt and maintain proper personal hygiene and other preventive measures. This is in a bid to stay safe. Nchetachi Chukwaja, MCL News.
It is 5 months after 18-year-old Chimeche Fulam was killed by yet-to-be-identified gunmen persons at Ihe Amakamo Lokoro in Umuahia South local government area. Emmanuel Wazo, who has been following the incident, was at the burial and now reports the angry youths of the area disrupted the activities, not sparing MCL news crew.
5 months ago, MCL News reported the gruesome killing of the teenage Chimeche Fulam, whose headless body was discovered at a bush path near his parents' home on 12th November 2019. The sad event took place at Ihe Village, Amakamo Lokoro in Umuahia South local government area, Abia State. And since then, MCL News had followed the incident for updates and developments. It's been 5 months since Chimeche Fulam was gruesomely murdered, but his assailants are yet to be apprehended. However, in what appears that the police may have thrown in the towel, with the release of the initial suspects, the villagers decided to bury their dead. A decision the youth group of the community, armed with dangerous weapons, disagreed with, hence the destruction of anything in sight, including economic trees. The dispersed students who had gathered to pay last respect to one of their own, and our crew was not spared as they descended on and manhandled our cameraman, forcing us to leave the scene even before the corpse was interred. It was later confirmed that the lad's body was buried after hours of aggression. However, it may not be out of place to say that the curse of this misplaced aggression ought to have been averted if a vigilante team, which is lacking in the entire community, was in place. Be that as it may, the question now begging for answer is, will the gruesomely slain Chimeche Fulam ever find justice? Only time has the answer. Emmanuel Wazwe, MCL News.
And now talking sports. Nigeria's Football Federation on Tuesday announced indefinite suspension of the country's Premier League to ensure proper medical support is put in place following the death of a player during a match at the weekend. Nasarawa United defender Chineme Martins, 22, collapsed and died during Sunday's league clash against Katsina United at the Lafia Township Stadium in northern Nigeria. Lack of proper medical support has been blamed for what the country's sports minister described as regrettable and avoidable death. The Nigeria Football Federation said it had ordered for the onward suspension of league matches until there is medical equipment compliance at different league venues. Clubs have been directed to ensure there is a full complement of medical equipment and personnel at all match venues by 14th of March. A date for the restart of the league was not mentioned. The Nigerian league has long suffered from poor funding that has hit medical care for players. 23 rounds of matches have so far been played in the 20-team championship. Plateau United lead the standings with 43 points from 23 matches. And that is the size of our news package for this morning. But before we go, a recap of our main stories. The Abia State House of Assembly on Tuesday screened and confirmed the nomination of Professor Mpa Agumpa as Chairman, Abia State Independent Electoral Commission, APSEC. The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has appointed Patrick Arian as the new head of National Office, WAEC, Nigeria. The Nigerian Navy says it has commenced online registration for the 2020 recruitment exercise. And in the world of sports, we brought you a report. The Nigerian Football Federation on Tuesday announced indefinite suspension of the country's Premier League to ensure proper medical support is put in place following the death of a player during a match at the weekend. And that was news. Thanks for sharing your time with us. Do join us at 1 p.m. for our news update. And do stay tuned for Good Morning Abia at 8 a.m. I am Russell Hams. Do have a wonderful day.